In agribusiness, USDA will release two major reports tomorrow, the Planting Intentions Report and Quarterly Grain Stocks Report. Those reports come out at 7:30 Central Time. And in other business news, we talked earlier about the challenges in the beef industry. Losing lean, finely textured beef is going to shrink already tight supplies. In this morning's analysis, Al Pell continues the conversation.
Our guest here at the Agribusiness Desk today on Ag Day is Chris Hurt, Ag economist from Purdue University. Chris, one of the things I want to talk to you about is our cattle numbers, because we have been losing. I'm talking about beef cattle now. Dairy cattle is a different story.
That's
We're
right.
talking about beef cattle at this point in time. They've been going down. Are we ever going to recover on this, or how long will it take us to recover the numbers?
Well, we will recover, but we're going to see very low supplies of beef this year in the grocery stores and at restaurants. We've lost almost 10 pounds of consumption in terms of what's available since 2007.
Wow.
So it's really remarkable reduction. We're about 16% less beef available per person in the United States than we were just 5 years ago. Now, of course, we have to identify why has that occurred, and then secondly, what will change.
Well, dry weather was part of it, I'm sure.
Absolutely, no question about it. But we'll go back to look at that 06, 07. The feed prices just absolutely taking off, and immediately the beef industry had no way to pass those higher feed costs on. And so they just absorbed higher feed costs in their margins. They lost money is the other way to say that. And of course that set a lot of discouragement and started the cow liquidation. And then everybody knows about that Southern Plains drought the last couple of years. Texas, our biggest beef cattle state, but Oklahoma, very important. A lot of liquidation has continued. So this gets us to this point now 5 years later from when these events started, to very, very low inventories of beef and obviously high prices, not only for cattle, but for retail prices for consumers as well.
Is our inventory going to increase, or is it moving now?
Well, we do have the slightest indication that retention of heifers was up 1% on the beef side as of January 1st. So just a bit of intentions, but I think what we have to say is it's still very early. We think two things have to happen. You got to restore pasture and range conditions in the Southern Plains. And secondly, we really need to get through this growing crop up here in the Midwest to make sure our feed base is better, because obviously we're still very, very tight on corn. We need a good crop. So late this year, we get the pasture back, we get a good corn crop, let's expand.
And we'll be back with more Ag Day in just a moment. We've been talking to Chris Hurt, Purdue University.
It's not too late to enter AgWeb's March Mayhem College Basketball Round-by-Round Pick'em Contest, brought to you by Valor Herbicide. You can enter all the way up until the final weekend. Stop by agweb.com for details.